Okay, so one of our objectives is that you could take a number written in standard notation, which is just a normal number, the way we write it every day, and take that number and write it into scientific notation. So the first step is you're going to move the star, which is the decimal. This is the decimal. You're going to move it until you get this number right here between 1 and 10. Because remember, in order to be scientific notation, the number has to be between 1 and 10. And 123, million is not, or billion is not. So because that's such a big number, I need to make it smaller. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I move it all the way until there's only one number on the left, okay? So I move that 11 places. I like to write a little 11 there. So now what I do is I take the 1 and I write my new decimal, 0.23, and what I'm going to do is with that 1.23, I'm going to chop off the zeros at the end and do a time sign, a 10, and then my exponent will be how many places I moved it, which is 11. And what I always say to the kids is this a big number or a small number right here? A big number? If it's big, we should do a positive exponent. All right, let's do our next one. We have 45 million. So, again, I need to move this decimal all the way to right here so that it's between 1 and 10, 4.5. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I moved it 7 places. And now what I do is I write 4.5. I chop off my zeros and I do times 10 to the 7th power because I moved it 7 places. All right, and remember, the whole reason we're doing this is right up here at the top of the screen. Scientific notation helps us write really big numbers. Whoa, we got a big one right here. This one, this number right there. So here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Go all the way until one number is left. I always write a reminder right there, 13. Now, I'm going to write 6.78, and then I do not write the zeros. And then I say times 10 to the 13th, because I moved it 13. All right? Please remember, the exponent says how many times you moved it. It does not say how many zeros. It says how many times you moved it. So one more time. 9,000. 1, 2, 3. Now we have 9, and we can just do a decimal. Don't put the 0 in. 9 times 10 to the 3rd power because I moved it 3 places. Well, now we're going to continue with standard going to scientific, but now we're going to deal with small numbers. And remember, with the powers of 10, small numbers usually have negative exponents. Okay? Usually. Not always, but usually. So, again, my goal is to get a number between 1 and 10, and this 0.000034 is not, but it's less than 1. I need to bring this number and get it up to 3.4. So here I go. I am going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to move it 8 places. And because it's a negative, or because it's small, I'm going to put a negative on there. And now I made 3.4. I'm going to check, is 3.4 in between 1 and 10? Yes, it is. So that is correct. Then I do my time sign and my 10. The only thing I'm missing is my exponent. I will do -8. And that tells the person Wow, -8. This is going to be a small number, and that's what it will be. Our next one, we're going to have to move our decimal all the way to right here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I moved it 10. I'm going to say -10 because it was a very small number. And now I'm going to write this portion with the new decimal. I'm going to write 5.609 times 10 to the -10th power because it was a small number. Well, here we go. James Bond, 007. Perfect. So I'm going to move this decimal 1, 2. Now, some kids might think I'm done, but let's look at this. If I said 0.7, is 0.7 in between 1 and 10? No, it is not. No. So I do not want to do that. What I want to do is move it 1, 2, and then I have to move it right here, 3. And it's negative because this is a small number. So now I have 7 times 10 to the -3 power. All right, the last thing is we're going to take scientific notation and move it into standard notation. So basically the opposite of what we did. The exponent tells you how many decimal places you need to move. It will also tell you what direction to go. Now, here's a helpful hint. I don't really like this hint. I'll read it to you and then I'll tell you why I don't like it. A positive exponent means move the decimal to the right. A negative exponent means move the decimal to the left. When I teach scientific notation, I try not to say right or left. What I try and say is a positive exponent means make it big. Make it bigger. Make it big. And a negative exponent means make it small. That is what I agree with. So let's practice. So I have this number, 7.82, and it says times 10 to the third. Well, what that means is I need to move my decimal 3 places. And I'm going to move it to the right. Okay, I said right, but basically I'm going to make this bigger. And if I move it this way, the number starts to get bigger. So I'm going to go 1, 2, so 7.82. 1, 2, but then I run out of room, so I go like this, and I have to add a 0 right here. So my answer in standard notation is 7,820. That is what this expression equals. Let's do another one. Let's try this one. So I have 5 times 10 to the -4. -4 tells me to move it 4 places. Now, what's very important here is where is my decimal? My decimal is right here. So I need to make it smaller because it's negative. So I need to go to the left in this case. So I'm going to go smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll put my decimal there, and my answer is 0.000. I'm filling in my holes. 0.005. And then it's very important. I don't know if my eraser is going to work. Oh, it does. It's very important to erase the original decimal. Please get rid of the original decimal. So our answer is 0.0005. That's our answer. Now we have 3.04 times 10 to the 8th. So I always start by looking at that exponent, and it's 8. So I need to take this decimal and move it 8 places, and because it's positive, I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to make it big. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to put zeros in here. Now a shortcut, this is what I do. I say I have two numbers here, and 2 less than 8 is 6. So I should have 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zeros at the end of the number. So my new answer is 3, 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's my new number. That's in standard notation. All right, this one here, I have 6.21 and it's 10 to the negative 6. So I know that means small. Can't really fit that in there, small. So I'm going to take my 6.21 and my decimal, and I'm going to move it 6 places to the left to make it small. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So my answer to this one is 0.00006. Now my last question is 4.02 times 10 to the first. Well, that's a positive 1. So what that tells me to do is move the decimal 1 place, and because it's positive, I go to the right while I make it bigger. So I'm going to move it 1 place to the right to make it bigger. So 4 turns into 40.2, and that's my answer. Well, bring any questions you have to class tomorrow. We'll go over them and do those practice problems, and we'll check in. Take care.